Hello friends, welcome to Reads and Eats. My name is Fiona. I'm really glad you clicked to my video today. I hope you're going to enjoy it. This is going to be what I'm sort of doing a quick recap of what I read this week and what I plan to be reading this weekend. You might in the background at times be able to hear a noise. Our next door neighbours have hens, so they're clucking at the moment and making themselves quite vocal, which is quite nice. So you might hear some of that at the moment. This week it's been a quiet week actually. I haven't been anywhere, or have I? My brain is now just mush. No, I haven't been anywhere this week, which is perfectly fine. I've done a few things gardening wise, so that I've sort of started up. You'll see that in my vlog. That'll come out next week. So I've done some of that. There'll be more kind of gardening tomorrow, so you'll get to see some of that. But apart from that, nothing has been doing weather-wise. It's been nice. Yesterday I was in my shorts for the first time. I sat outside and read for a bit, and it was so hot that even with sunblock on I was going pink. And I'm not a person that burns, but I'm coming in. But it was nice to sit outside for a while and just enjoy the sun. Reading-wise, I would say it's probably been a slow week, but that is absolutely fine. I'm very happy with that. I've just been concentrating on just a couple of books, and that's really good. So the one book I have finished is The Spy Coast by Tess Gerritsen. This is her brand new series. And we meet Maggie Bird. And Maggie, to all intents and purposes, is an elderly-ish lady who is retired to purity in Maine. And she's a chicken farmer. She's a good neighbour. She's pretty dash good with a shotgun. But that, to all intents and purposes, that's what she is. However, one day this lady arrives and she's like, "Have you heard from Debbie?" And Maggie's like, "No, I have not." And the next thing we see is that this lady's body has been dumped on Maggie's driveway, and she's dead. And it's very obvious that she's also been tortured. We enter now, or semi-enter. They've already been there, but enter now Maggie's book group, or Martini Club as they're called. And they're all like Maggie, old spies. So this story is to do with an operation in Malta that went slightly wrong, and there were consequences for some people, including Maggie. And this is the story of somebody possibly out for revenge. But who is that person that's out for the revenge? I honestly didn't see the twist coming, and that's absolutely perfectly fine by me. I was like, what? Whoa. But so we get sort of modern day, but you also get the timeline of everything that led up to what happened in Malta. It was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5 out of 5. And the plot just kept you turning the pages. The characters were engaging. I really liked the way it was written. And I'm looking forward to book number 2. Because I just really want to keep reading this series and know what happens, because it's just so good. So that was that one. That was a 4.5 out of 5. Then I read... did I finish Patricia Johns last week? Or was it still to finish it? I can't remember, but I think I finished it, so if I haven't, let me know down in the comments and I'll fix that. I then picked up 2 books for review. So I've picked up Death at the Highland Loch by Lydia Travers. Hold on to let you see the picture. Picture. There we go. Okay, so this is a Lady Poppy Proudfoot mystery. Now I've had a rant about this already on my vlog, so you're going to have to watch the vlog to to hear about the rant. Okay, I am enjoying it, and I like the characters. I like the premise of the book. I'm intrigued to find out as to who has actually committed the murder. I like Poppy as a character. I think she's very good as a character. I like the fact that she's an educated lady who wants to use her brains, who has had to deal with a lot in her short life so far. And I'm enjoying it. The premise is that she's gone to a friend Constance's house for a weekend party, and this man has ended up dead beside the Loch on the estate. And there's some Americans there that are making a film, or doing reconnaissance for a film. But there's something not quite right there's something about one of the characters I'm like, I don't know that I like you very much. So one of the Americans, but no, I'm enjoying it. It's a good read, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Next we have the new Sarah Morgan, A Secret Escape. I started. So this one where am I? I'm chapter 12. So might get it finished this weekend. Highly possible I'll get it finished this weekend, and that's fine. That's great, because as I say, it's for review. So we meet Millie, and Millie and Nicole have been friends since childhood. But something happened that Nicole sort of slightly ghosted Millie, or maybe not slightly. She did ghost Millie. And Millie was going through a really hard time. She's going through divorce. She has a daughter called, oh good grief, is it Zoe? Hold on, Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. And Zoe is normally an outgoing girl who loves drama, etc. But something's going on. Zoe's becoming very quiet and is just not as forthcoming as she used to be. And then out of the blue, Millie gets a phone call from Nicole going, "Can I come and stay?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "Right, okay, I'm going to arrive at the station and Millie's like, "Why are you arriving at the dead of night? You know, it's going to be pitch black, etc." And when Millie arrives at the station and the train comes in, it looks like Nicole doesn't get off the train. But who's that old lady? And it's just, we get the story then of why she's there, and it's them trying to reconnect on their friendship and various things. And we also have Millie's mum, Connie, who's kind of put her life on hold to help Millie and Zoe with it when she was going through the divorce. I love that they run a holiday cottage centre, I would think I would call it, where there's the folk that are there can do outdoor sports, etc. I absolutely love it. So it's set in the Lake District, and they're on the water, and it sounds like a lovely place to go on holiday, and just maybe to be brought up as a child. So really, really enjoying it so far. I'm liking the dynamics. Each character is having to grapple with various things, and they're having to I'm going to say, basically redefine themselves and find out what they actually want from life now. And I am really, really liking it. I like the way that I love the way Sarah Morgan writes. I always have done. But I really like her women's fiction because I just really like that she's grappling with issues or writing about issues, and so we see how the characters are dealing with it and everything. So thoroughly enjoying it as well. So that's kind of my reading for this weekend. What are my other plans? We've got rugby this weekend. We have the semi-finals of the European Challenge and Champions Cup. So Edinburgh are playing Bath on Saturday. And so I really want to see that. I think that'll be a good game. And I think Leinster are playing Northampton Saints. I think that's going to be another really good game. I'm sure the other 2 games are going to be great as well, so I'll watch all 4 of them. It'll be fine. I don't know. I've got videos that I want to record. Might do some more recording today. I would like to try and see if I can change those curtains. I've been looking for curtains. And I'm not seeing anything, if I'm totally honest. A lot of curtains nowadays are the poles with, the eyelet curtains. And I don't have that. I have the hook, the rod and hook. So we have a set of curtains that used to be in Mum and Dad's bed when years ago, at least 15, 20 years ago. Myself, my best friend, and my now boyfriend. Mum and Dad were on holiday. We decided there was a programme over here in the UK called Changing Rooms, which is like an interior decor thing. So Mum and Dad, when Mum and Dad were on holiday, Mum went, oh God, I really need to paint the bedroom now. I thought, right, okay. My mate came through for the weekend, and my other half was here. He wasn't my other half then, but he was here as well. And we're like, okay, right, we're doing this. So Mum and Dad went away on the Friday. And we waited an hour to make sure that they didn't come back for anything that they may have forgotten. And then we went and we bought paint. And we bought some other things that we thought they needed. We bought curtains. And we basically painted and redecorated their whole bedroom in a weekend. And I'd bought them curtains for the new room to go with it. And so we went for a nice sunshine yellow, okay? Not thinking that over the year it was going to go absolutely minky, but bless them, they actually did really like it, which was great. But those curtains, they did them then, and then they went into the office. We still have them. So they might go up here. The only thing is they're like green, yellow, blue, and I don't know if there's a red in them or a sort of pink colour. And I don't know how they'll look in this room, because this room is like a peach, an off-white and green. And I don't know that they'll go, if that makes sense. But I've had these up for like 2 years. They haven't been cleaned or anything, and I think they do need to get cleaned. And they're like they're winter curtains. But I think that's my option just now, rather than having to go and buy a pole and actually trying to find curtains that I like. As I say, I've looked everywhere and I just am not seeing anything. So I think that's going to be the job over the weekend, is going to get these down and get those other curtains up if they will fit. I'm sure they will. So that's going to be that. I don't think we'll get any other curtains unless we decide to do the porch one. I don't know. We'll see. So it might be putting curtains up this weekend. I would like to do, if I've got the energy, do a wee bit baking. I have fallen into a trap, and I need to get out of this trap. If I'm short of energy, I will go and I will hit the biscuits. I will hit the chalky biscuits just to give me an instant boost, and that's not what I need to be doing. I really don't need to be doing that. It would be better if I had things like energy balls, homemade granola bars, stuff like that I can just eat. Maybe a trail mix. So I would like to maybe try and get something like that, or a couple of things like that made that I can keep, in the energy balls in the fridge, put the granola bars into an airtight box, etc. Because they will have less sugar, they will have slow release carbs, etc. I think that's a far better, a healthier option for me. I need to do that. I need to stop picking up the bad stuff, if that makes sense, and try and eat more of the good stuff. It's just, and I've found some nice like iced tea recipes. I would like to try and make those, because yes, I love my hot chocolate, but I've been very much reining that in. Not that I have a hot chocolate every day, no way. I used to, when I was studying, yeah, I did. It was bad. And I could do with losing some weight, if I'm totally honest. I think if my hip surgeon saw me now, he'd be like, what the heck? Get that weight off. And I need to do it for me. I need to do it to, just to make sure that my hip it has been aching a bit. And I need to make sure that it doesn't ache anymore. So I need to sort of think, right, okay, let's start trying to reduce some weight. And I think if I did energy stuff, that it would be, if I did healthier snacks, that would be a better option for me. I'm not saying I'm never going to have a chocolate biscuit again. Yes, I will. But the chances are I'll have made it. So I will have reduced the sugar, etc. So yes, I've got things I want to do, but whether or not I get around to them, I don't know. At the moment, energy levels are creeping back up, which is nice. I'm beginning to feel a bit more, yes. And as I say, I've got other videos I want to record and deal with those as well. But I'm wittering, friends. I really am. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Come chat with me down in the comments. Have you read any of the books I've mentioned? Or do any of them sound interesting from what I've said? What are your plans for the weekend? I'd love to know. Do you have a go-to snack that you love eating? I would really like to know that. Yeah, let's do that. On your way there, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and then if you've not already, why don't you subscribe? It costs you nothing, and you'll get more content from me, which hopefully you will enjoy. But if you don't want to comment, that's great. Leave me an emoji. Let me think. Leave me, since I've been able to sit out in the sun this week, leave me a sunny reading emoji. That would be great. But until my next video, friends, stay safe. Happy reading. Bye.